Hey, folks, just a friendly reminder that all shows on the Madness Comic Network are produced by their individual hosts and in no way reflect the opinions of the network as a whole.
Who am I, you ask? I was created in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by the waste of a dying world. I was bestowed with an insurmountable task: bring peace after decades of death, persecution, and chaos. I am a grandchild of war, destined to help two camps which hate has fueled for far too long. Surprisingly, I am not alone. Have an odd bunch to make the road a little more bearable. Come with me, to bring hope where there was despair, respect where there was resentment, creativity where there was destruction. I am Pinocchio, and this is my story.
Flip City Magazine is just really pulling out all the stops, man. Your guys' production value of this magazine has gone insane. I mean, look at that. I mean, I remember when you guys, it was black and white. Even when it was black and white, I thought your quality was great. But damn, they have just, I mean, they just really stepping it up a notch. Look at this. James Corbett, boys. James Corbett.
Genuinely cutting, but also funny, and obviously just chaotic and very fun.
I love Flip City. It has brought new types of badassery and integrity to the print medium.
The writer and creator of numerous comic books and graphic novels, including Nightmare World, Tales of Mystery, Brave but Not Dead, all kinds of stuff. And I am super excited for you because you are getting to watch right now, right this moment, out of all the things we're going to be doing, you're getting to enjoy and revel in the Madness Comic Network. And that is awesome. Thank you for being here.
go. Oh, there we go. All righty. Well, folks, happy Wednesday. We are back, and whew, what a week. What a week, y'all. Between the floods and the hurricanes and the weddings. Oh, it's been a wild week or so. I think last week there was one day where I single-handedly moved 840 some pounds of cinder block by myself, building stuff around my farm in preparation for my nuptials. So yes, I am newly married. Thank you. And if she's watching, shout out to my my gorgeous new bride. I won't linger on that too long because I know how cringy it could be for everybody. But anyway, so anyway, let's get on with some good stuff here. I don't think we have anybody popping in today, which is fine because they'll give us a day to really focus on doing art stuff. So I know Doc and the folks always seem to really appreciate when I get in here and do kind of in-depth looks at things in Clip Studio. So that's what we're going to do today. And any of y'all watching, make sure, you know, I don't know how long Pop's going to hang around for. I know he's in the background over here. So I'll pop him on here for a second and see if he says hello. Hey, Pops.
Oh, happy wedding, dude. Happy wedding to you and the wife. Is that amazing? Yeah. What? How you feel? You look a little glowy. You're glowing a little bit.
I think I'm a little glowy. Yeah, I think she's been waving my glow stick around for a day or two.
Look, this is something I want you to do. I want you to go through the wedding pictures and pick the one of the two of you that you like the most and draw it.
I will do that as soon as I get them back. I have not gotten the pictures back from my photographer yet, but I'm actually. It's one
thing to have the photos. It's quite another to
get a nice
something you can put on the wall. That's you know, she's gonna look at it and go, "Oh my God!" You know what I mean? It's like you know.
I had no idea. I vaguely knew what she was going for as far as dresses and things, and this thing was. It was a nightmare from the get-go because, like a total dumbass, I told her months ago when we started talking about it instead of date. I was like, now, I know how you know, I told her, I was like, I know how you are. I know you're going to drive yourself and me crazy. Your nose is in this. I was like, so I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to handle the whole thing. You're going to take a week and go hang with your family. And I'm going to take care of the whole damn thing. Don't you worry about nothing. And I played it cool. I played it cool the entire time while everything tried to blow up in my face multiple times.
Dude, that's the nature of weddings.
I went through. I ended up going through two pastors before I ended up with the one that was able to. I mean, and this is all not me just being picky. This is people pulling out.
Right.
I lost two pastors. One because of a health problem, and oh God, I mean, and another one I can't remember what for, scheduling or some crap. But and that was 2 weeks out from the wedding. So I lost that. I ended up, the photographer I got was number 4. Caterer was number 2. Cake baker was number 2. And then the whole thing was planned to happen on my farm and outdoors. And then that bitch Helene blows through. And I'm just like, really? Really? The day that I'm planning, you know, my wedding, and there's a hurricane. How appropriate. That is so me. That is so my life. So, but but then kind of in the same sense and the same theme, I ended up looking around. I was like, I'm gonna have to move this indoors, change everything at the last minute. Let's roll. What are we doing? So I'm looking around, and I actually had a suggestion from my girl for a place. Neither one of us had ever been there before. Didn't know what it looked like inside.
Mm-hmm.
But I called this place, and I got it. I got it booked the day before. I was lucky. It was open. And my girls always wanted kind of a hunting lodge themed wedding. And I go to this place to look at it the day of. I'm just like, whatever it is, we're gonna roll with it. I go inside, and what is it? But it looks just like a hunting lodge inside. I was like, this actually is better than anything I had planned by a lot. Like not by a little bit. I mean, everything that I had planned, I'm just like, done, scrap it. We landed here, and I had a crew of people come in and start slinging decorations and doing everything. And man, by the time it was done, it was stupidly gorgeous. Like the whole thing went off looking like, it looked like a lot of money was spent on it, and it wasn't. And I'm very happy about that. But, then my girl gets there, and they've got a whole area in the back. They get her into that. And I'm, like I didn't see her until she walks down the aisle. And
that's the way it's supposed to be, though.
Yeah, it is. And I was blown away. So yeah, there will be pictures and things shared eventually here, and all that kind of good stuff. So, and my boy Charles, who's not with us today, but I will tell you straight up, Charles is my wingman. Charles is indispensable. That dude came through. I mean, he drove all the way down here from Chicago to help out. And then another set of folks, a guy named Mike Vaughn and his wife, also from Chicago area. He's got a publishing venture, and I'm drawing some books for him. They made it down. I had a ton of people who were supposed to be coming from North Carolina and East Tennessee.
Probably couldn't make it, huh?
No. Helene put the kibosh on that pretty hard. With like roads closed and interstates closed and all that kind of stuff. I was like, Helene, you bitch.
Yeah, but the strange part is that they won't let people out of the area.
It's weird. The whole thing.
I'm getting shades of Maui out of that. I don't want to even get into that because from my research, there's a whole lot of lithium under that land. And I just see a government land grab coming.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But I don't want to dampen that. Dude, it was so awesome that you guys got through the whole thing, that it didn't come a little farther west and ruin y'all's happening too. But I mean, got some people in the chat saying, hey, you got Grey Wolf and Woodrow is in the chat. And Doc says, congratulations, bro. Yep.
Yeah, I'm a locked down commodity now, gentlemen. Yeah. She finally put the tag on this old bull's ear. So
yeah, well, I mean, I've heard the ball and chain thing before, but if they look that good,
dude,
what the hell? I wouldn't mind.
I keep telling her. I mean, that like, I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who sees it, but my girl's Filipino, and so like parts of her family are Chinese and then there's stuff that goes back to Spanish, and that's just how the makeup of the Philippines is kind of Spanish and Chinese, East Asian. And I always joke with her that I started dating her because she looked like Ming Na Wen, which Ming Na Wen was in.
Yeah, I know who it is. Trust me.
Oh yeah, I love Ming Na Wen. I'm like, ever since I saw Battlestar Galactica, I was like, oh, hello, who is that?
Yeah, well, she made her impression on me in Agents of Shield, but I had seen her many times. But in Agents of Shield, she showed me her acting.
Actually, that wasn't her in Battlestar Galactica, but yeah, in Agents of Shield, she was off the hook.
She showed me her acting chops then. I had seen her in other stuff, movies and stuff, but I really liked the part she played in Agents of Shield.
Yeah, she's why I watched that show.
Yeah, she's
one of the first pictures I ever saw of my now wife. I saw it and I was like, this chick looks like Ming Na Wen. And honestly, I was newly divorced, had been in the dating pool for a few months and was swiping around, doing that whole bullshit. And this picture comes across of this chick, and I'm like, that chick looks like Ming Na Wen. There ain't no way in hell I got a shot with that. Not even. And but I noticed she had on a T-shirt that said Teningo, Balintawak, Kali, and Darnice. And I was like, Teningo? I was like, she know Manuel Teningo? I was like, I know that guy. He comes down to our dojo from time to time and trains with us. I was like, So I was like, icebreaker. So I sent a message. I was like, hey, I was like, hey, I noticed your shirt, and I've trained with Manuel and Bobby, and I named some folks, and just trying to be all cool and shit. And
she's like, I train with them too. So what?
turned into a conversation. Well, she doesn't do any training, but she got the shirt from her brother, and her brother, does Kali and all that because that's Filipino martial art. And I had done some Kali alongside all the other stuff that I do, and it just turned out like my father figure for the latter half of my life has been my sensei, Dwight Holly up in Cincinnati, and his wife is Filipino. And then there's other Filipino people we know through the dojo, and and it's kind of a martial arts thing. Is like martial arts people end up, like the serious ones end up forming a community around it. And it just, as she and I got to talking, it just turned out that we actually knew a lot of the same people. And so, it grew, and 7 years later, that ass is mine.
I'm telling you what, we actually have a martial arts community in our group. Actually, a couple of different people that are in, like Mike Barron obviously does jiu-jitsu, and has practiced for a long time. But you have Patrick Lugo and a couple other guys that are in our actually part of the madness. They do shows on the network sometimes, and they kill it, man. I love it. And then Laurie, of course, practices Filipino martial arts with her weapons. Is all of her weapon training is through Filipino school. It's like we have a lot of people. Brian Christgau, everybody. There's a lot of people in the madness that practice. I guess it was a nerd thing for
a little bit. I know for me, I come up, as a kid in the 80s, and there was a whole martial arts movie craze back then for a long time. And but because of that, I got really interested in the stuff and started learning a lot about it. And so, the martial arts, specifically like very traditional karate, has been in my life for a very, very long time, with my primary teacher having been Sensei Dwight Holly from Cincinnati. And it's just one of those things. It's like, once you get into it, there's so many good benefits from it that, it just becomes a lifestyle thing. So, yeah, that broke the ice for me with this gorgeous looking woman. And somehow I've managed to convince her to stick with me all this time. She stayed with me through me having a double stroke. And I literally told her the first night that I was in the hospital that if she left, I wouldn't blame her and I wouldn't hold it against her.
And she went, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I mean, because I knew this was going to be a hard damn period of time. I knew it was just going to be rough as hell. And
yeah, but she knew your spirit. Look, dude, look, you were sitting there in the hospital waiting room, arting after this. Okay, she's looking at you going, he's going to be fine. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't going to damage your psyche. It wasn't going to hurt who you were, and you weren't going to stop being who you were. And she saw that fucking 20 minutes after your stroke.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's like it'd been different if you'd have been laying out going, oh my God, somebody's going to have to take care of me the rest of my life. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But
that shit was not happening.
You know, you were working. She saw that. She saw SDMF. That's what she saw.
Pretty much.
Big
that
old
was the thing. And you know, she I mean it's been hard. I mean, there's been, you know, ups and downs with it and trials and everything, but man, she has stood by me through the hardest slog of my life. And I'm just like, okay, you know, it's definitely time. So
yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's pretty awesome, man. She's damn good to me.
So I don't want to like diminish the moment or anything, but tell people what you're drawing. We got like 27 people watching over multiple platforms.
Oh shit.
Tell people
hello, folks. No, it's actually honestly I was really kind of behind the 8 ball after. I mean, I literally just got married 2 days ago. And I didn't have any guests planned, and I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. So I started looking back through my files and things, and you know, I saw that there was a sketch that I had started one morning. So I figured I'd pull that up, and we'd start doing some digital inks on it. So I like doing the digital inks on the stream because I can screen share it. And the quality is going to come. The quality on stream is going to be way better than if I'm using a camera. So I like that. And I'm freaking exhausted. So I figured I'd pull up this sketch from one of the streams one morning, and we'd start doing some inks on this. So for those who don't know, I'm inside Clip Studio right now. And I'm just going to kind of wing it here with some lines and shading lines. And I have been very happy over the last year that my love of that kind of Bernie Wrightson, Franklin Booth school of art has paid off really well for me. And I think right now I've got 3 6-issue series, or the equivalent of it. Really, 2 of them are 6-issue series, and one of them's a 150-page graphic novel that I'm contracted for. So, you know, I've basically got enough work lined up that I'm solid for like the next year. And this is actually the first time that comics will have become my primary income. So that's nice. So I actually, in a way, I credit having had a stroke to that, because it was actually easier for me to draw than it was to do the 3D stuff that I've done for a living for years. and I just doubled down on drawing, and I was like, well, I'm just going to draw my ass off. And it worked. I mean, what can I say? It worked. So, yeah, this is a sketch. I was doing a demo one morning on here, drawing from a photograph just to get the poses and stuff and looking at that stuff. So I figured I'd pop in here and start doing some inks on it. And if folks wanted to ask me any questions, they could, or if they just wanted to sit quietly and listen and watch while I sit here and doodle this on out a little bit further, they could do that too.
Y'all ask questions, so I don't feel like I'm just sitting here bugging him.
Yeah.
Give my life purpose. Talk to the man.
That's funny. Yeah, I probably should have thought about that, because I usually, if Charles is around, he watches that stuff for me and lets me know what people are talking about, because I can't really do that and draw at the same time.
Yeah, I know. I did want to say, though, at 1 o'clock today, Doc is doing his 100th episode.
Oh, that's cool.
Of the coffee shop. Episode 100, yo.
Nice.
That's cool. It's like 1 month short of 2 freaking years. Eddie doing shows. That's pretty awesome.
Now, for a long time, I avoided doing lots of line work like this. And I guess because I thought that, there was a simpler style of artwork that got real, became kind of a standard after the 90s were over. And so I kind of was like, oh, I better learn to do that. And it could do that. And I could do some good looking work with that. But, it seemed like people weren't really that interested in the line work and the just the approach of, the old, I call it the Bernie Wrightson School of Art. Bernie's probably my biggest influence these days.
Bernie's the only reason he's the reason that I love black and white and seeing the line work, and why I encourage people to always do like a black and white ash can or a stretch goal of the book without colors, just to people that like fucking black and white and love to see the line work get to see it. I'm not being critical, but there are colorists who wash out line work.
Yeah, I'm very all the people who I'm drawing for right now, doing books for, are allowing me the final say over the colors when they come back. And I think the colorists are probably going to hate me, because I'm a little picky.
That's what I'm saying. It's like hard. I feel for the artist more than anybody, because or the colorist more than anybody, because how do you put color to somebody else's work without, and still give them what they wanted to come up with? It's hard for an artist to do, a colorist to do that. And then there's still the trip of, you've got to make sure that you're not washing out the lines.
Yeah.
It's different art. The color just makes it pop.
Well, in modern comics, the colors tend to be so super saturated that the problem with the super saturated intense colors is that it tramples on the black of your lines. And it causes,
that's what I'm saying. It washes. That's what I mean by washes out the line work. It makes it
just turns the shit to pure mud.
And the lines really are what define the art. Without the lines, as soon as you start washing them out, then you're watering down what the artist drew. Don't do that.
And that shit's very aggravating. As as a guy who takes a lot of pride in his line work, that when you've got, I dropped my pen. When you've got a colorist coming through, and all of a sudden all this shading and form development that you've done gets lost. It's like, dude, why did I even bother?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like any line I can't see once they're done coloring is a line that you did for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, I want to see your art. I'm looking at your art, not their colors.
I actually think that that's a big part of why so much simplified artwork has taken hold in comics, is because, the colors, I think colors a long time ago were often understandably a bit of an afterthought.
Yep.
Because the medium couldn't print as rich of colors as we have now. And so the colors, the process of coloring back then was much more suggestive. You had a very limited palette and you locked all that stuff down. So you're just like, yeah, this is generally a red. This is generally a blue. And you were limited. And in a lot of ways, I feel like that limitation actually made for better artwork a lot of times.
I'll give you that.
A really good case study in that is there's a recent release of The Killing Joke. And the book is printed twice inside this oversized hardback. It's like 11 by 17 hardback. And the first printing of the book included in that uses the colors from back in the day. And the second printing of the book that's in there, it's printed a second time with quote unquote modern colors. I may be switched. It may be the modern and then the old one. But I believe it was Bolland went back through and redid his own colors using modern tools and everything. And I'm sorry, but I think the old one looks better. The older one because you don't have so much shading and modeling of structure with the colors. The colors were very flat, and it let that line work have room to breathe.
Right.
If you get a chance to look that up sometime, that's a really good example of
Well, I can say that, okay, like the first comic book I looked at was a Marvel comic that had somebody a character that I liked from a different genre. But that wasn't what carried me into comics. The beautiful black and white Freak Brothers comics is what carried me the rest of the way into comics. And it was from the indie side of things,
Fabulous Freddy.
Beds and Heads, Fat Freddy's Cat, all that shit, right? Okay, that was where. Do you remember the game Dealer McDope?
What's that?
Dealer McDope. It was a board game.
I do not. I don't think
it was a board game, and I'm pretty sure the art was all done by the same people that did Freak Brothers and shit. Can't remember his name. Gilbert Shelton, something like that.
I'm not familiar.
Gilbert Shelton. I think that was his name. Anyway, Dealer McDope was about being a big time dealer, right? And you're making deals, but you're also I think manage a touring band. You're trying to slip in and out of countries, have your band play, make money, and sell dope on the side, make money or some dumb shit. It was just a stupid fun game, right? From back in the day, the Cheech and Chong days. You know what I mean?
The good times.
Yeah, when weed culture was all about comedy and fun, right? It was a cool game, but there was also comic books, Dealer McDope comic books. There, a bunch of dumb shit. They were crossing games and comics over a long time ago. And trying to take advantage of the fact that there's a comic book about everything.
Pretty much.
Freak Brothers didn't get sold at your comic store. It was sold where you bought your pipes and rolling papers. That was where you found Freak Brothers. It wasn't something you could just go buy. I wasn't even old enough to go into the pipe store. We called it a head shop, but I wasn't even old enough to go in there. I was, the kids that used to sit outside the liquor store.
Oh God!
Give people money to get a 6-pack.
Yeah.
I was the kid sitting outside the head shop giving people money to get me a comic book. Is that crazy? Is that crazy?
That's some funny shit, dude.
Okay, so way back then, I wasn't old enough to read certain comic books. It was just, and that wasn't even. I don't even think that had anything to do with the crazy lady, the gore lady. I think that was like just a standard before that. Right? That it portrayed like weed culture. It wasn't going to get any kind of airplay or any kind of, you can't do this, you can't show that here, you can't sell that there, right? There was already regulations, I guess, about stuff like that. So, it was hard for somebody who was a fan of it to get their hands on it if they weren't old enough. So even way back then, they had age-appropriate material, if you hear me talking. And it was banned in certain places. There weren't no Freak Brothers comic in the goddamn school library. Guess what? There still ain't. Okay? The age-appropriate material is not banned material. It's age-appropriate material, and you sell it where it's appropriate.
Yeah.
God damn. And people really piss me off with some dumb shit sometimes. Oh, yeah. That might be my next rant on coffee shop Freedom Brew. I might just have to go into a little bit of the difference between banned and regulated.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing. That's definitely a thing. Definitely a thing.
Well, I mean, common sense is common sense, and sometimes you have to hit people upside the head with it.
Pretty much. That's all too common.
See, common. See.
Yeah, it's I think the idea that common sense has become an uncommon thing.
Quite rare, isn't it? Quite rare.
Annoyingly so.
It's only common to the people smart enough to understand what it is.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm kind of swinging wild on this. Like I'm honestly ignoring a good deal of the pencils on it. Just thinking about my light sources and stuff, and just kind of playing around with this, see where it goes.
It's still coming to life, though, right?
Oh yeah. How's the chat looking? Anybody got any questions about what I'm doing so far?
No, you did half the hair. You did some shoulder and chest work. You're on the other half of the hair now. I get it.
I'm wondering if anybody's got any questions about the program. Of course, I mean, mostly this is one of the things that's nice in here is like, once you've got settings for a pen that you like, then that's what you're going to spend 90% of your time using in here. And
the sad part of me being your backup on this show is that I'm not an artist. And I can't go, hey man, how do you do this? What do you do to make that? Because I wouldn't have a first clue where to start. I watch you guys create. That's what I'm saying, and it's like I don't have input to that. Like Doc might come out here and have questions and have, input as to what you're doing and maybe even critique. I just watch it happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like I watch you guys make things come to life. This the same with when I hang out with Stephen B. or the guys on the draw stream or whatever. It's like I just get to watch you make it happen. I don't have questions about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of on autopilot right now. from being so tired from all the stuff. So, whew.
Like I'll mess with Doc sometimes, and I'll be like, "Man, you need to fix that, or fix this, or fix that." But he knows I ain't no artist, and I'm just fucking with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least I hope he knows that, because that's not my gig.
Here's one of my favorite things to do when I'm doing my line work, and it's I don't know where I come up with the word with the phrase I use for it, but I call it cutting in. Because I'll cut into the black with some white, and use white like I've got this big area here of the hair, and then I'll come back through because I want this still to be in deep shadow. It's very dark, but I still want some of this to show through. And so I'll look at the forms that I've established in what I'm doing here, and maybe pick just a few key little areas and cut in some little white spots to.
I can see where you call it cut in. I call it erasing.
Yeah. Well, if I'm drawing with pencil,
when I do draw, I do use an eraser to shape and add reverse context to what you know what I mean. Damn, listen to me sound
very
like
useful. Yeah.
But yeah, to me, that's already, and the black was already there. So you're erasing lines and creating lines.
Mm-hmm. Now, when I'm doing this on paper with traditional ink, I'll use really thick white paint.
Right. And
come in and cut in my white, cut in my highlights sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I like, you notice over here, I've got this little palette of brush sizes.
Right.
And those are all like if you're inking digitally, you do not want to go down to a size of 1 because you will have nothing.
Yeah.
Like a size
of scratching 1 for 20 minutes and still have nothing.
So like I just drew a 1 pixel line on here and you can't see it. I mean, it's just gone. So, you need to have like 5 pixels. There you can see it. That's as thin a line as I'll ever do if I'm doing digital, because thinner than that, and it just is hell half the time thinner than that, and it won't even show up in a printer. Like you could send it to print at full size, and it still won't quite show up.
Right.
And little things like that that's some of the stuff that I think a lot of folks overlook, because if you do a buttload of little lines like that, thinking that you're doing fine detail, it goes to the printer and it either won't print at all, or what will print, it'll bleed together and make mud.
Or skip. Little piece, parts of the line, but not the whole line, right?
Yeah. So I've got a 5 and an 8 up here. I've got 5 and 8 pixels up there, but I rarely even use those. 10 is usually the smallest I go to, because with that, if I have any pressure sensitivity for my line turned on, like if I barely touch, you can see I'm getting right there. It's about as thin a line as I'd ever want. And if I add pressure, you can see it thicken up. So, 10 is about as thin as I'll go. I think most of the time, I'll hit about a 40 for doing my hold lines. So like I'm about to do a hold line on this hand here, and I'll do that. Shoot.
You got Nate Law in the chat saying this looks awesome.
Thank you.
With 2 exclamation points.
Yeah.
Awesome.
See, at 40, with the pressure sensitivity, and there's a trick too that I use, and whether it's digital or traditional, doesn't matter. If you look at my hand, the way my hand's positioned, you'll see this middle finger is the one that's like right down next to the tip. And what happens is when I put this down against the surface, my middle finger touches before the pen does. And so then I've got this brace of my middle finger, which then I'll start pulling across the page and nothing's touching. And then I rock the pen down across my finger, and it allows me to get these really controlled lines. And then the other thing is, if I'm using a thick brush like this 40, but I want to do a bunch of lines that are about similar thickness, then having my finger there means I can kind of control that better if I don't want to have to change my tip size. So it's just, there's little tricks like that you kind of figure out. And then I love doing these big, I call them sculptural areas, where I'm using black to knock in a lot of the form. Throw an X on that. And like right here, you're going to see a lot of variation in the lines. It's like I barely push down. And then here I'll come back out to a thicker line. And then that's going to help convey the difference between like the solidity of her arm versus the nature of this cloth right here. I probably need to go in and adjust my settings too. That's something that I think you need to do from time to time, is and it's just a thing where like you change over time. Is like, you may find that you're actually drawing with a lighter hand than you used to, or a heavier hand than you used to. So you got to try and be kind of conscious of that. And every once in a while, you want to go in and adjust your settings. So like, if you do that in Clip Studio, go to, let's see, it's under File. And it's been a while since I did it. So, blah, 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 blah. Where do we go? Where was that? Isn't this magical?
You're pro, man.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm thinking about the iPad. Duh. on the iPad, the stuff's under the File menu, where you can control the sensitivity of the pen on there. In here, on this, because I'm on a computer, on a giant Wacom tablet, or big Cintiq tablet. There's a, I don't think I have my window set up to show it, but there's a button I can push that'll pop up this thing where I can sit here and really calibrate the hell out of the settings on this Cintiq. But and then you can also do it per brush in here by going in like let's move this over here. Well, that damn menu won't move. Huh? That's crazy. Why won't that menu move? I don't like what that menu comes up at. It's poop. That is hot poop. Let's see here. Well, anyway, I don't know why it's. I guess maybe I've slid my menu off here or something. I don't know. It's weird. That's very annoying. But you got all kinds of places to change stuff. So we'll come in here to brush size, and here you can see where it says pen pressure. So I've got the minimal pressure set to 0.
Hi, Lou. Lou Pond's in the house. Lou, what's up?
So if I, so like right now I've got a 40 pixel brush. If I set my pen pressure to 50%, then that means the lightest touch with this will put a 20 pixel line down, because it's a 40 pixel brush. So if I do the heaviest, it's going to come out nice and thick. And then there's a curve to that really you play with that curve, and that relates to how it feels when you're drawing stuff in. I always keep my pressure like set to my pressure minimum value set to 0. And there's all kinds of other stuff that comes into play for different types of brushes and things. I've actually really gotten into using this guy lately. a brush that I've created that I just call a rough pen, and it actually gives a kind of a slightly wavy, kind of dirty line. So like if I draw a line with this, you see it's got this kind of a texture to it. Whereas if I go back to my main pen, you see how smooth and crisp it is. And I like alternating between these. So like on her, because she's supposed to be kind of a messed up zombie chick or whatever. You know, she's got an arm missing, for God's sake. So on the dirtier sections, especially for something like this that's very, you know, horror-ish, I will use this rough pen that I made up, and I might, if folks are interested in it, I might see if I can share that setting somewhere. But I really like the way this pen works, because you can see that you get this little bit of texture out of it.
Nate said he just tuned in to check out the dope work real quick. He said, have a good day, everybody. Hi, Lou. Lou is also in the chat. She hangs out during our draw stream on Sunday. She's pretty awesome, too. So much talent in the madness, you guys.
Oh,
There's so much going on. And we got new shows that we're doing in other places and all kinds of stuff. Just stay tuned, man. It's all action. If you didn't know, Les does this every week at 11 o'clock on Wednesday right here. So don't miss out next week. This is where we'll be.
Yeah, see, the way that I have this pen developed, and there's actually quite a bit going on under the hood with this particular pen. I really like the way that it allows me to kind of scrub back and forth. And it feels a lot like using a high quality felt pen. One of the qualities of using a felt pen is that as you work with it, the tip degrades, and the degradation of the tip ends up becoming part of the character of your lines, and is actually very useful. And I wanted something like that I could do, you know, use for digital work. So here it is. And so you can see just right there, like up here, you see these super crisp, clean lines on her skin. And then down here, these have a little more wobble to them, a little more character going on. Now, I like that quite a bit. I think I just slipped, and yeah, I just slipped with my paint bucket. So let's go right there. So right here, I'm going to keep using this brush. Getting into this kind of stuff is where I start to get real quiet, because I just zone out, and it's relaxing as all hell for me to get in here and start doing this.
Well, it is like getting close to showtime anyway. So. Yeah.
So I really like the way that I can get these the irregularity of those lines. So like the stroke with my hand is actually very smooth and very regular, and but then there's this character, I guess you'd call it, that comes in with this particular brush. So I really like being able to get that. I feel like that helps take away some of the mechanical nature of doing things digitally. That's always been my gripe with digital art, is it's very, very easy for digital art to come out looking mechanical. Let's come in here. Look at this.
Oh, look, Lou says she might be drawing on her channel later on a show she's calling It's Art O'Clock. Lou, anything you want to bring to the network, you know you're welcome. Say it. We can put that thing everywhere. That's our goal. That people see. So, you know, got people watching everywhere today. People in the Twitter,
Cool,
in the
man.
Twitch, the Facebooks, in the YouTubes.
I have no idea where this stuff is all going out to at the moment. I'm just like,
I just
like,
told you.
yeah, I'm just going to get on here and draw and talk a little bit, and we'll see where it ends up. So, little update while we're kind of coming down close to the hour. So I've got some things coming up, some appearances I'll be making. It'll be wild to see some folks come out to some of these. I'll be at the public library, the new public library in Owensville, Kentucky on October 26th. And for those who don't know, I grew up in Owensville, Kentucky. And
Did you say Oinksville? What?
Owingsville, Owings, Owings, little eastern Kentucky town that is about as podunk gets. And I think they may have grown and gotten a third traffic light by now.
A third one.
A third, yeah. They're getting metropolitan.
Whoa.
So, but they did get a new library built, and they asked if I would come sign some books and hang out and talk and things like that. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing that October 26th. That'll actually be the first public appearance where I'll have copies of Homestead with me. So, Homestead is in the warehouse right now. So that's nice. Thanks to everybody who backed it, because the success of its Kickstarter has really done a lot to push me forward with getting more work, more contract work. I think probably most, if not all, of the comic book contract work I'm getting right now has come because of people seeing that Kickstarter.
Well, that's also right about the time you started doing your show here. And of course,
Yep.
Dirk's a friend of mine. I've met him a few times at local cons here. And
Oh yeah, Dirk is awesome.
yeah, I mean, you know, it's like, to me, it was like, oh, we got another family member? Oh, bring him in. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, he draws? Does he want to draw live? You know? It's like,
Yeah.
but that was also during a period when I wasn't spending money on anything because I was trying to get the money for the LLC. So I wasn't able to back that much.
Oh yeah.
But you know, I'm going to see Dirk next month. Or is it November? Yeah, November in Grand Rapids. Pretty sure he's going to be there. He usually goes to Grand Rapids. So
I've done Grand Rapids once a long time ago. It wasn't a bad show. I would seriously consider doing that one again.
well, see, now that one's the one that's like my home con. I get press passes. I go there, I walk around, interview everybody. That's the one I like the most because they let me do what I like to do.
Well,
You know, Mark is cool. You know, he lets me walk around the floor with my cameraman, and we don't like interrupts. Like if you got 20 people in front of your booth, I'm not going to come up and go, hey man, do an interview with me. I'll come back when there ain't nobody there. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to interview sales or anything, but I want to get 2 minutes on the camera to put up on the network and promote the fact that you're there this weekend.
mm-hmm.
You know, we try to go on Saturday so that we can tell everybody, make sure you come up here on Sunday, check out Les and Dirk, they're hanging out, whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd be interested in talking with you sometime, getting the information for dude, see if you can get me a hook up there to come back up to that show. I haven't done that show since probably 2014 or 2015. back when Apocalypse Girl was first picked up by Insane Comics, they did Grand Rapids. So I was
it's like I said, I know that Dirk goes there. Mark Hodges is the showrunner. He's on Facebook. You know, I just hit him up about he posted something about the tickets going on sale, and of course, as soon as he does that, I'm on him about hey, you know, me and my dude got to be able to be there. You know, Brad Arney is my cameraman and transportation. You know, he makes sure I get there. He records all the segments, the interviews and stuff. Good dude. He's also in the Madness. Look, we're trying to have fun here, people. You know, that's really the bottom line. We're just trying to have fun and promote and get people seen. So I'm doing my part. Anybody that hits that share button, they're doing their part too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Y'all don't forget, like and share that whole deal. So I'm gonna say looks like we're right across the top of the hour. So I'm gonna say it's time to call it. But thanks folks for watching and hanging out with us today. Maybe next time we'll have a guest or two. I know I've got one guest that I'm planning for. Just a matter of when he can do it. I think we're probably looking 2 or 3 weeks out. Right. Gentleman named Andy Myers, who, if you, who's not familiar with the Terminator movies, right? My friend Andy was the guy who built the iconic hand from Terminator.
Oh man, yeah, we got to talk to him.
Yeah, he built the hand in Terminator. He built the robotics inside the little boy in the movie AI.
I already got my question for him. I want to know, does he have any pictures of the Terminator hand flipping the bird?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I gotta see it.
Yeah, he worked with Spielberg for quite a long time on different projects, and he's a super cool dude. I've done some sculpting and stuff for him in the past on some of the things that he does. Nowadays, he does a lot of like high-end replicas and model making and stuff that it's really, really kind of neat. He's semi-retired living down in Florida. So very, very cool dude. Does great work. I think he also worked on Jurassic Park. So in the first Jurassic Park, I think, and don't quote me on that until he shows up on the show, but I think he did. I think he worked on that. So
cool.
Yeah, I ended up getting in touch with him through there was a company that was contracting me to do sculpts for collectibles some years ago, and I just ended up, he and I were both doing stuff with him, and so we hit it off and became friends. I think and he knows a lot of folks in comics too. I don't know if he knows Mike, but I know he said he grew up in Brooklyn, I think, with Larry Hama. Like they went to school together, and him and Larry been big buddies forever. Like
there you go,
friends as kids kind of stuff, you know. Yeah, it's really wild. You know, once you get a little deeper into this business, just how connected everybody actually ends up being. Yeah,
that's what I said, man. The dude, look, come on. 5 years ago, nobody knew who I was.
Oh yeah,
nobody. I was nobody. I had no footprint online at all. You know, it's like the only people that knew me were people that knew me in real life. And it's like, yeah, I got a bunch of people I consider friends in the industry now. So, you know.
That stuff's always fun, man. It's really neat. I mean,
networking is really where it's at. No matter what it is you do,
you
network with other people that do it too. Other people are going to find out about you.
And I literally suck at doing that because I tend to just want to kind of stay in my little hole and do my stuff.
That's why I'm here, bro.
Yeah. But that's what things like this are really, really useful for, is making connections and meeting people and all that. Yeah, it's fun.
You never know. There's been a ton of collaborations that have come out of the Madness Facebook group or the network or whatever. I mean, a ton of them, man. And that's my goal, is to get more and more people working together, doing stuff that we love. The stuff we love. That's what it's all about. Thanks again, bro, for a great show.
Thank you, man.
She's looking good. I hope we get to see the finished product next week.
I'm thinking, this is one of a handful of pieces I have that are, I kind of start them, there'll be a question or something on the stream and I'll start up a piece and then, I'm on for an hour. So then it'll stop and I'll just save it. And like, well,
just don't forget about us, because we're invested in this one now.
That's funny.
All right, brother. I will see you next week. I'm going to play some trailers. I'm going to be out of here in Doc's Coffee Shop, episode 100 at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Nice, man.
Miss it.
Nice.
Peace, everybody.
Later, y'all.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.
How do you end this thing? How do you put the... where's the brakes on this bus? I forgot.
Jazz hands. Jazz hands.